Have you ever thought about your favorite playlist? Okay, now think about your favorite outfit. What if I told you those two things are way more connected than you think? It's not just in your head. Let's dig into the hidden dress code that's hiding in your music. It really comes down to this simple idea. The music you've got playing in your headphones has a direct line to the clothes hanging in your closet. And you know what? This isn't some new thing. It's been shaping how young people express themselves for forever. So where did this all even start? Well, believe it or not, there was a time when teen fashion just wasn't a thing. To really get it, we've got to go back to the moment pop music first completely took over. Okay, so check out this timeline. It shows this huge dividing line, right? Before the 1950s, kids pretty much just looked like mini adults. But then, bam, pop music hits the radio and everything changes. It gave teenagers their own world, and for the very first time, their own clothes to go with it. All right, now let's jump on a quick tour to see exactly how this all played out decade by decade. Get ready for some of the most iconic looks music has ever given us. First up, the 1950s. This is when we get rock and roll, and with it, the very first cool uniform. It was all about this new feeling of freedom, and yeah, a little bit of rebellion. For guys, that meant leather jackets and denim jeans. For girls, those huge swinging poodle skirts were absolutely everywhere. This wasn't just about clothes, it was about making a statement. The 60s were super interesting because style basically split right down the middle. On one side, you had the Beatles, who started out with these sharp matching suits and hair that at the time was considered totally shocking. And then on the other side, you had the hippie movement with a completely opposite vibe. Flowy clothes, tie-dye, bell-bottoms, all about peace and pushing back against the mainstream. Then the 70s hit and things got even more dramatic. You had this huge style clash. First, there was disco, which was all about glamour. We're talking shiny sequins and tall platform shoes. It was pure escape on the dance floor. But then, as a direct reaction to all that glitter, punk exploded. It was the complete opposite. Ripped up clothes, safety pins, heavy boots. It was all attitude. And the whole idea behind the punk look was this concept, DIY, or do it yourself. It wasn't about going to a store and buying something expensive. Nope. It was about taking what you had, tearing it apart, and putting it back together to create something that was 100% you, a huge middle finger to boring, mass-produced fashion. And then came the 80s, where everything just got louder, brighter, bigger. Suddenly, workout clothes were fashion, so you saw leg warmers and headbands everywhere. Neon colors were impossible to ignore, the hair was enormous, and when it came to makeup and jewelry, more was definitely more. It was a decade of just pure, bold fun. But you know, after all that sparkle and shine from the 80s, the pendulum swung back hard. In the early 90s, a totally new sound and a new look started bubbling up from Seattle. And it was about to change everything all over again. And that sound was grunge. Musically, it was heavy, kind of moody, and really raw. And just like punk was a reaction to disco, grunge was the answer to all that polished, perfect pop music from the 80s. It was all about being real, not being perfect. And of course, the fashion followed that exact same vibe. The grunge look was all about looking like you didn't care. Comfy flannel shirts, old, worn-in jeans, and heavy work boots. The whole message was that you didn't have to spend a ton of time or money to be cool. It was basically an anti-fashion statement that, ironically, became a massive fashion trend. Now, at the same time, another hugely important style was rising up from hip-hop culture, streetwear. This look started in American cities and was all about comfort, rocking specific brands, and showing off your personal style. And what started as a subculture has now become a massive force in global fashion, totally changing our idea of what luxury even is. The key pieces were unmistakable. Baggy clothes for comfort and style, sneakers that weren't just for the gym, but were a serious status symbol, and accessories like gold chains and baseball caps to finish the look. What started on the block is now front and center on the world's most exclusive fashion runways. It's incredible. So we've seen how all these music genres created their own looks. But how did those looks spread so incredibly fast? Well, in the 80s, a brand new technology came along that basically put everything on hyperspeed. And that game changer was the music video. Think about it. Before videos, you might hear about a trend, but now an artist could wear one specific jacket, millions of us would see it at the exact same time, and that jacket would be sold out everywhere the next day. It meant a global trend could literally be born overnight. And today, That effect is basically on steroids. Social media is our new TV, showing us what our favorite artists are wearing in real time. We can see a look on our phone and buy it with a single click. And with fast fashion, a style can go from an artist's social media post to a store near you in just a matter of weeks. That connection has never, ever been faster. So, what does all this history actually mean for you? Well, it's not just about what happened in the past, it's about how we figure out who we are right now. At the end of the day, the clothes you decide to wear are a form of communication. Just like the music you love, your style tells people about your personality, what you care about, and what groups you feel a part of. It's a visual language that everybody gets. And through all these changing trends, from poodle skirts all the way to baggy jeans, the most important message is this one right here. It's not just about copying an artist's exact look, but about finding the things that help you show the world who you really are. So that brings us back to the big question. The next time you're getting dressed, just think about the music you've been listening to. What's the connection there? What story are you telling? Because your playlist doesn't just have a beat. It definitely has a dress code.